Hey everybody, welcome to this week's layout update. Probably more of a project update or a future project update. I've been plagued with migraines all week long, so I haven't really done a whole lot. Done a little bit, not a whole lot, but I'll show you some of the things that I have done. So what you're looking at here is a couple of Train Masters. They're Athearn Blue Box, kind of older ones. They got metal side truck frames, or truck side frames, however you want to say it. But I'm planning on stripping these down and painting them blue and white, Virginian and Ohio. I thought those would be pretty cool. I've been looking for some Train Masters to do this too for a while. This blue one on the left, I really like it. I mean, the handrails look good, the paint looks good. Minor weathering, and if anyone has a Train Master shell out there, I would much rather strip another black one or something else and leave this 174 as is. And maybe put that on a model someplace else or a frame. I got a bunch of frames and stuff, but so that's the plan with those. Let's come down here. So my friend Chandler Marshall at the Marshall and Southern YouTube channel will be showing a video tonight at 6 o'clock. It's 4:35 right now. It's Sunday evening. So at well, as soon as you're watching this one, there's already a video out of a layout tour of my layout on his channel. He gave me a bunch of old Rip Rossi locomotives that are inoperable, missing a bunch of parts and stuff. So this 3716 is missing a smoke box, and it's sitting kind of funny, and it does not run, but I don't know if I can get that working or not and find parts for it. If you're interested in it, let me know. If you got the parts for it, let me know. Got a train running by in the background here. We'll see if this thing wrecks while I'm talking, because normally they do. It's just a slab train or a steel train, whatever you want to call it. A couple of Alco demonstrator fantasy models on the head end. You can see how it's, back to the locomotive, you can see how it's sitting high in the front. And missing a smoke box, and it looks like the boiler separated just a little bit from the subframe down here. And you sit right down in there. Oops. And then got a UP big boy over here, same thing, Rip Rossi. It's sitting kind of funny. It's missing the smoke box also, and it wasn't sitting correctly. There's something inside, like a retaining screw or something, that allows the front engine to drop down too low. And of course, these they have the smaller flanges, so they're the early 2000 run, 2005 run, or something like that. But I've heard that when you put DCC in them, they run really well. And I've seen some on YouTube that look great as well. So I'm going to tinker with these for a while. But if you're interested in them as is, let me know. Send me an email at HOScaleModelTrains2022@gmail, and we can discuss it. He also gave me a Bachmann Spectrum New York Central Niagara. It's missing some screws. I haven't taken this one out of the box, so it might, need a lot of work. I'm not quite sure. But if I can find the screws for that, that might be a good DC model. This is not the version that has the electrical connections between the tender and the locomotive. This is the older one, but the upgraded version of the older version, if that makes any sense. So this is probably a 90s version, early 2000s, before they went to DCC and DC with the DCC connections and all that stuff inside, so you can convert. So I got some projects, play around with and tinker with and stuff like that. I also picked up this Kansas City Southern SD40-2 Snoot. I thought about painting it nickel plate and just justifying the Snoot nose as having radio control equipment in it for, pushers and stuff like that. But I know Dwight, okay, let's talk about Dwight. I know I talk a lot of crap about Dwight, but it's all in jest. Most of it's just for entertainment purposes. I mean, he did tell me my tree sucked, and he's kind of harsh to me sometimes, but for 99% of the time, he's a good dude. So I know Dwight was looking for one of these, so I called him and offered it to him, so he'll be getting this. All right, next. This is a hybrid locomotive. It is a dummy. It is a Bachmann GP30 shell on an Athearn Blue Box GP35 frame. It's just a dummy. I was just kind of playing around because I wanted to have a couple of these units for some photos. And let me show you what I did to make it fit. I had to round off the frame on the front and the back. I had to cut a couple pieces off and notch it on the front and the back. And there's, you can see the silver right there next to the gearbox on the left and right side. I had to file that down flush so that it would fit inside the frame, inside the body of the Bachmann locomotive. And you know what? Yeah, I think my train wrecked. Let's go look. No, it didn't. It's still going. I thought I heard it stop. I about tripped over Gatsby. All right, come back over here. So the shell for right now, it just sits on top. It presses down in place, and that's it. So I got to figure out a way to kind of keep it on there permanently. I don't want to super glue it, but I may have to put a couple dabs of white glue on there just so it don't pop off. I'm going to replace the windshield wipers on the front and the back windows. And I think I'm going to change the, I'm going to take the nickel plate and the 908 off the sides, and it'll be Allegheny Midland. So it'll say Midland Road, and it'll be probably 600 through 609. Those are the numbers. The GP30 was not modeled on Tony Custer's railroad, but it was on the roster. And of course, you know, I need to look for some better handrails, but I probably would just paint these and call it good enough. Let's see, I got another one right there somewhere. Hang on. Here we go. Oh. So this is the Bachmann chassis and everything. And it's probably going to short. It's DC. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. You can hear it whining. But they look really, really good together. And you can see the lead 908 has some little bit extra paint on there and stuff. I did the handrails, and it doesn't look too bad when the stanchions are painted black and all that. So, I mean, I think it'll look pretty decent. I could just take this shell off and put it on that frame and vice versa, but these are just 100% for photos, and then the dummy unit would just be on some trains running just for fun. So, I thought that was kind of neat. I got a lot of stuff down here to work on. I got some Southern Pacific stuff down there. That's all Dwight's, or I bought for Dwight, or I'm working on for Dwight at some point in the future. And most of these locomotive parts and locomotives down here will probably get sold. And all the stuff that's on the floor right there, I still have to build, and it needs DCC and sound and all that. So that's a whole lot of work to do. Oh crap, there's another Riv Rossi. That's a Boston and Albany 464 Hudson, so a New York Central Hudson. I forgot to pull that out. So I got another one to look at there. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I can tell you what's wrong with it, if anything. So I got my Virginia and Ohio F7s. I'm still working on these. I was going to put out a video on the things that I've done to it so far since the last video I did on them. And like I said, I had migraines all week and I haven't messed with it. So maybe this Thursday I will put something out. But you might see a little something right there that you think is cool. That might be talked about in the next video. They look good together though, don't they? Pretty cool. All right, so I picked up this country feed and seed at Mike's Trains the other day. And my idea was to make this part of the Purina complex or whatever I'm building over in Apple Creek. And I thought I had something similar, almost exactly the same as this. Like the sand and gravel. I thought it was the same building, just, you know, different colors. And so I bought this thinking I could, you know, set them together or something. And they look totally different size. And I'm going to call that a failure. But at the same time, it could be worse. So I got another building to put someplace, if nothing else. All right. So this is the bridge from the Hudson Mine area branch, or the Hudson branch, and the abutment. So I started working on the rust streaks and weathering the concrete abutments today. And this is only step one. So step one always looks like ass to me. I hate it, you know, because I can't get my mixture right. And it usually takes about 5 different steps to get it looking the way I want it to look. But when the bridge is up there, you can kind of see where the streaks will come down. And I got some Vallejo, like orange rust and stuff that I'll start mixing up and working on that. So hopefully next week, this bridge will be back in. And then I can start working over on that tunnel entrance and portal and all that stuff. All right, let's run down here to Apple Creek. Oh, no, I forgot about this. Okay, so a comment was made the other day about this diamond, where it was going to go and all that stuff. And because it's right here at the edge of the layout and there's nothing here. All right, so where I'm standing, straight up from that track, this will be the engine facility. And it'll have a turntable and some engine shops. No roundhouse, just like a 4-stall shop or something like that. So if you go to Nickel Plate Historical Society and you do a search for East Wayne, after World War II, like I think 46 or 48, I can't remember which one, they rebuilt the yard, or built a new yard. I mean, they built a new yard, but they did not build a roundhouse. They had a turntable and they had the new engine facility that looked very much like something that would be set up for diesel locomotives, because they were planning ahead even though they were still using steam. And that's kind of the concept I'm going to use here. Now, I have a pre-built section right here that I can use for this next addition that will jut out that's about 3 feet, I think. So it'll stick out to about right in here, which still leaves me a good 5 feet of space to walk through. And that will be probably next spring, next summer that I'll get to work on that. Also, I got some other pieces over here from the old layout that I could use as well if I needed to, if that other piece doesn't work. So, I mean, don't ever throw anything away until you're absolutely sure you're not going to use it, because that's the only reason that stuff is still surviving, is just in case I may need it. All right, so this track at the diamond is called the house track. It parallels the yard lead, so that way their locomotives can come in and out of the shop without fouling switching operations in the yard, which 90% of the operations in this yard will be made on the east end, which is behind us, and this is looking west. But at the same time, there's still a little bit of room to pull out and shove in, and you know, you got your locomotives coming out of the shop to go get on the trains if they're going westbound and stuff like that, and this will be their route. If they're going to the east end to get a train, they'll come down through the house track and then go to the siding and run down the siding to the east end and then shove back into the yard lead and all that to get on the train. So I think it's working out pretty well. In concept, in my mind, it's working out pretty well. All right. Not a whole lot going on over here. Just been playing around, staging everything. I did mock up this team track with this ramp and these tractors the other day. All this stuff's just kind of sitting in place. And then I have my Whistle Stop Models road to rail transfer area. Rail to road, yeah, something like that. And I got a whole video talking about this. So I painted that dump truck up and all that stuff. And this will be another video here in a week or two as I paint all this stuff and then put it into place. Most of this whole area will be painted gray and will be rock. So it'll be gravel with gray rock on the track as well. And I'll have to paint the track and all that stuff and probably put in a couple power leads on that, or at least one power lead on that. And that will allow me to put some, covered hoppers or a coal hopper or a rock car or something on top of this conveyor belt, which will be set up underneath the track. And then, of course, hang on, let me get it over there. Something like this, but underneath the track. And then my picnic table is really getting put to work right there. And then, your trucks come in, fill up, drive over here, pull a U-turn on the left side of the screen, and then go on to the scale and then depart the yard. I believe there will be a rock road, gravel road running down where all this mess is in the middle. And I envision it either running on the left side of that bridge abutment, between the bridge abutment and the rails, or maybe between this little section right here, looking like a tunnel, coming underneath, and then coming into the yard and coming between the beltline yard and running parallel to the house track there. Something like that is what I'm thinking. Just kind of give it a path so you can follow the road around, so you can kind of see where it goes. For some reason, I like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like where you can follow a road all the way around. So for some reason, that just, makes sense to me, but not always. And now that I have this part figured out, I can start doing some scenery work over here. I like these trees up against McClellan Avenue. And I think I'll probably leave those More than likely the scenery will look like this. I don't have a whole lot of that grass mat left, and I'm really just kind of lazy about using my static grass applicator because I don't think I do a very good job with it, so I'm a little intimidated by it, I guess. But little modification to the ramp with that piece of wood underneath, and I still have to do the same thing to the stairwells on each side of the concrete foundation here to the freight house. And for some reason I can't find my sign that goes above those double doors in the middle of the screen, so I have to find that and then paint it, glue it on, and then put some decals on there. But that's where we're at. Pike Street here, once again, congratulations to Bill Hawk for naming the road and getting the mug. I hope you got it. You should have got it for maybe Saturday, or if not tomorrow. So I still need to do some work here. Be some yellow stripes down the middle, maybe some white on each end, at least right here, and then on this side maybe down this direction. But I got to have a lot of gravel over here so that the trucks have some place to turn around and, you know, back up a trailer onto a pig car, or, you know, the tractor's got to come down somehow. And, you know, just I try to make things make a little sense, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So you kind of gotta do what you can when you can. So that's that. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Oh. So I was at Tractor Supply the other day, and I picked up one of these Johnny Lightning buses. I have an Army bus already, and I picked up this Air Force bus. Now, I really can't stand the Air Force. You know, we kicked them out of the Army back in like 1948 or whatever. So I'm gonna paint this one yellow, and it's just gonna be a school bus. And it'll be in the background someplace. Probably yellow with the one black stripe down there, you know, traditional school bus looking thing. And then that will be it. That was good timing. I really, really like the way this looks coming through here. Now, I got the sound off because it's kind of loud. I have a lot of DCC programming to do here, because these Tsunami decoders have a dynamic engine exhaust or control or whatever. So as they're working harder, they should be making more noise, getting louder. You should hear transition, you know, going on and all that. And when they just come stock, they don't do that. So you have to program those in there. And it's not difficult, but I just haven't done it. And I got probably 5 of them to do. But I'm just procrastinating. Sometimes it's overwhelming, the amount of stuff that I have to do out here. And if I sit there and think about it all the time, then I just go back in the house and I don't do anything. But, you know, just one thing at a time, one day at a time, and that's the best way to do it. So I got a buddy of mine who's really overwhelmed with his layout and his progression. And he's always, you know, kind of fussing about, you know, hey, I can't make any progress. And you know, I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, I did this and it doesn't look good. And, you know, it is a process, y'all, a process. So sometimes I do something and it looks like crap, and I just keep working on it, and you keep making improvements. So if you was ever in the military, you know about a hasty fighting position. It's something just like what it says. It's hasty. It's not permanent. But as you're there in that fighting position longer and longer, you make more changes to it. You improve it, cover and concealment, until it's a good fighting position. So it's part of the process. So just keep, you know, hammering away at it. Take your time, take a deep breath. Don't get overwhelmed. If you have to, like me, I'll get overwhelmed with something and then I kind of start a new project. But don't be like me and have 10 different projects going on at the same time. So, but it is overwhelming, and if y'all feel that way at any time, you're not the only ones. Okay, so I got a couple more things to talk about here. A couple of mistakes I made as well. So I planted these trees. I did some scenery work over here. Planted some trees, did some gravel. I did this little area to the left of the tanks in front of the hoppers there. And I thought it looked great. And then I remembered I have not painted the rails yet. So at some point, I'm gonna have to take the trees up and then paint the rails and then put the trees back. So luckily I did not glue them in place. All I did was use a small ice pick, stab into the foam, and then stick them into the foam, the trees into the foam, planting them, if you will. and then the foam will kind of shrink up on there a little bit and hold them in place. So you can still pull them out pretty easily, and it's not that big of a deal, but it just kind of, I got ahead of myself when I was working over here because I was really enjoying doing the scenery work and figuring out how it was going to look. And it, you know, I put the rock road in the background. I got to do the same thing back there. And I also have joints to solder and power drops to put in. So I got to be mindful what I do because I still have to reach over and do a lot of stuff. So my plan for the winter time is to solder about every other joint on this back side of these 3 main lines. And then about every 9 feet, put in the power drop. Now, every 9 feet works for me pretty well, and that's what I've been using for a while, and I haven't had any issues with it. But, so I got about what? 40, 60, 65, 70 feet to solder every other one. So it'll be okay. So I'm going every other one for expansion and contraction purposes, because there is a lot of expansion and contraction out here between the wintertime and the summertime. So a lot more than what you think, but I guess it could be worse, but you know, you have to strategically solder and stuff like that. So, and then I know where the kinks are at, so I know where I got to shorten some stuff up and all that. So my other mistake was I have a green, I have a building right here that I'm just painting green as part of the Whistle Stop Models kit that's going to sit here, and I totally forgot about it going there. And I built all this up with scenery, and now I have to dig into it and, you know, countersink my building a little bit. Then I have to cut over here and make like a little sidewalk with some rock and gravel and stuff like that. So I was like, so now I'm thinking, well, since I screwed that up, do I even want to put that there? So I got to figure that out now, because I got ahead of myself, because I was out here talking, and I think I was talking on the phone to my friend Scott. I was out here just working and not paying attention to what I was doing, but that's my fault. All right, on to the next one. So this is an old lifelike, real cheap stucco little station. I can't even remember what the name of this is. It's not very well detailed. The doors don't look too good. The frames and everything on there are way too thick. But I painted gray and black, and I did a little work to the plastic decking there to make it look like wood. And I actually like it. So for now, I'm going to leave that there. After I'm going to put in that chimney. And for now, it's just going to stay there. I like it because it's simple, and I think I got one for $1 someplace, but somehow I've gotten enough. I think Dwight and his son gave me a bunch of stuff, and I had parts to another one of these, and I think I had parts to another one also, so I have enough to make another one. So what I decided to do for continuity's sake on the belt line is I've started putting together another one, and I've got it mocked up over here. And for this one, I'm going to replace the double doors on the left and the single door on the right with some probably some titchy groups that I have. I'm not going to mess with the windows or anything like that, because I mean, they're on the sides, and this will be the money shot over here. And then I will work on these the passenger platforms, and I would like to put like a train order hoop right there, so when the locomotives come by, they can hoop up some orders to them, to the crew and all that. But I just got to figure out how to make one, or if I can find one that I can buy and just, you know, stick it together real quick. There's probably one out of brass or wire or something out there someplace, but I'm pretty sure it's not that difficult to come up with something that's reasonably decent. And let's see, I think there's one more thing. The Coca-Cola billboard. So I was playing around with this Coca-Cola billboard, and I super glued it to this old plastic lifelike billboard thing, and I just stuck it there playing around, and I like it, and I'm gonna leave it there. So once I get back there to do scenery, after I build the bank that's going to go there, I'm just going to leave that there and put some stuff back there. I think it's going to look pretty decent. I believe that is it. I believe that's it. Nope, there's one more thing. Okay, so this tree in the background, I experimented the other day to try to make something that looks like these woodland scenic trees that I bought. And that is some white stuffing that came out of one of my dog's toys. And let's see if I can reach back here and grab it. Or maybe I just move this and stick this down here. And I had some tree frames from a super tree kit or something. And you can kind of see the tree inside of it. So I opened up this this foam stuffing or whatever the hell it is, and it's kind of transparent. I went outside and I blasted it with some green paint, and I put it on. I just literally shaped it like a cup, and I sat it down on this plastic tree frame. And in the background, I think it looks decent. I mean, it don't look great, but I think I can work with it and put on some, maybe a little bit of foam on there, like sprinkle on some foam after I, squirt it with some Aquanet or something. And I think it'll give it a little texture, but I think for a background tree, I think it blends in, it looks just fine. So I think that took me 5 minutes to do. So if I can do something that's quick and saves me time, I'm down with it. And of course, it saves me some money. But at the same time, these trees I can buy 3 for 15 bucks and not worry about it, and they look pretty decent too. And I literally found a tree in my neighborhood that looks exactly like this. So don't think that they don't exist. So it is what it is. All right, I believe that's it. And we're at 26 minutes. I haven't had to edit anything. I don't even think I've dropped the F-bomb. So going once, going twice. That is it. I thank everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, share the video if you want. Please go check out some more videos. For some reason, 2 weeks ago, I had nearly 10,000 views in a week, and this week I had 2,700. I cannot figure out this algorithm. I'll have 2 or 3 good weeks of great views. I think I had over 20,000 views. 20,000 views in 1 month, and I'm at 412,000 views in 3 years. That's pretty dang good. And I don't know what happens that my videos just fall off the algorithm, and I'm consistent posting the same days, the same times, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So if anybody's got any input on that, please let me know, because maybe I'm doing something wrong. So once again, like, subscribe, comment, come back on Thursday. Go watch another video, subscribe. I'm shooting for that 3,000 mark by the end of the year, so help me out.